All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, to the Bayashadabadad, the house of David. I am Ayashatad with Men of Valor, Las Vegas camp. All right, coming to you through the will and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay? I have a lesson for you today. It's going to be along the lines of you scoffers and mockers have a price to pay, all right, or something along those lines. Lord willing, to be edifying unto the body. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the lesson, all right? This is going to be the book of Zechariah. It's going to be chapter 13 and verse 7, and it reads, "Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the men that that is my fellow, saith Yahweh of hosts." All right. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said, "Awake." All right. Awake, O sword. That sword, all right, is Esau Edom. That sword is, let me just go to it, to the book of Psalms. All right. This is going to be the book of Psalms, chapter 17. And verse 13, and it reads, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right, and we know that the wicked, Salakia, we know that the wicked is Esau Edom. All right, the so-called white man would be the wicked. Okay, continuing on, Salakia. Going back to the book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 8, and it reads, and it shall come to pass that in the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. All right, so 2/3 of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled birds whose father's line goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. All right, you will perish by the sword. All right, whether it be an actual sword, whether it be by the gun, whether it be by death of famine, whether it be weight falls on your head. All right, whatever it is, you will see death. All right, or ultimately the ICBM missiles. All right, pursuing to you, all right, for death and destruction, all right, as Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has ordained for you, all right. Your demise can come in any way. There is a jabillion ways to die, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has already picked one for you, whether it be by thermonuclear fire with the ICBM missiles, or whether it be by stubbing your toe the wrong way. Okay? But let me continue on. This will be the book of Hosea. It's going to be the book of Hosea, chapter 4, and verse 6. And it reads, Salakia, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. All right? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's people, all right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are destroyed from lack of knowledge because you don't seek knowledge. You do not pick up you do not pick up the scriptures and search out the knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Let alone, you don't pick up a book, but let alone pick up the scriptures to understand that this book is a testament for you. This is your history book. You can learn all the worldly knowledge in the world, all right? But it is vanity and it is vain. It is not true knowledge. The knowledge that you need to understand is the word of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, all right, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jebus, all right? Or as you guys call him, Jesus. All right. Continuing on. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, because you have rejected the ways of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You have rejected the ways of life. Laws, statutes, and commandments. You say that there's 10 commandments. There's 613 laws. All right? These are the commandments that were given unto the Israelites. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled birds whose father's line goes back. The book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 3, starts telling you about the covenant that we had entered unto, to Yahweh Yahushai. This is the covenant that was made for Israel forever. All right, and we broke those laws, statutes, and commandments. There were clauses in the contract if we did, such as there's clauses in the contract today. If you go buy a car, if you get a house, all right, there is additional things that you have to do to get back in good standings. Whether you have to pay a late fee, all right, but once you pay that late fee and pay on time, and you continue to pay on time, hey, what happens? You become back in good standings. So how much more with the Most High's contract put you back in good standings if you paid that debt, all right, if you paid that late fee, okay? Salakia. Seeing, continue reading, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of Yahweh, why Yahushai, I will also forget thy children. All right, seeing that you forgot the law and don't understand what is being told unto you, what is being taught, not adhering to the moral code that lies within your DNA. This is not a race thing. This is a bloodline thing. You have the blood of the Most High running through your veins. You so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled birds whose father's line goes back. It is a nation thing. All right? And nations are set up by the poles of their father, pursuant to the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18. Okay? Continuing on, verse 7, and it reads, as they were increased, so thy sin against me. All right? As we were increased as a nation, we continue to sin unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right? We continued the sin, whatever we were doing, whether it be idolatry, adultery, eating abominable things. This was all against the laws that were given. Okay? Salakia. Continuing on. Therefore I will change their glory into shame. All right, the glory we had is being Yahweh, Yahushai's people. Hey, being that nation that was saved, coming from Egypt, where Egypt was destroyed. Okay? Egypt was destroyed for Yahushai's to show the people his power. All right, to show Israel his power, to show Pharaoh his power, to show the rest of the world and the heathens his power. But he had chosen a nation to save out of that bondage. Okay? Verse 8, and it reads, they eat up the sins of my people, and they set their hearts on their iniquity. All right, these other nations, hey, and 2/3 of our own nation. All right, the false prophets, okay, the false leaders, the influencers. All right, they all set up. I'm gonna read that again. They eat up the sins of my people, and they set their hearts on their iniquity. They continue to set you up for failure. All right? They eat up the sins of the people, continuing the affliction. All right? Chiefly Esau, Edom. the so-called white man, all right, helps us continue going off. It is his good pleasure to give you abominable things, to put you at adverse to your power. It's his daily delight, minute by minute, day by day, hour by hour, week by week, year by year, century by century. It doesn't matter. It is a perpetual hatred that this devil has for you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the other nations that are confederate with him. All right, and you can find that in the book of Psalms, chapter 83. Okay, start 1 through 9. Continuing on, verse 8, verse 9, and it reads, and there shall be the people like and there shall be like people like priests, and I will punish them for their ways and reward them their doings. So 2/3 of the nation of Israel, all right, are going to be rewarded, all right, after their doings, and these other nations. But this is about Israel. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled birds whose father's line goes back. It's about you. Okay? It's not about any other nation. They will have to answer for their atrocities and the crimes that they have done, but it's chiefly you. Okay? Continuing on. And they're doing the verse 10. For they shall eat and not have enough. Right. You shall eat and not have enough. Here it is. We're in the midst of a looming famine and pestilence. All right. They're giving you more food stamps. Right. They may be sending you a stimulus check. They're giving you child tax credits where you have more money, but there's less food on the shelves. On top of that, hyperinflation is starting to set in. So even though you have more money, you don't have enough money, all right, to fill your pantries, all right, to fill your bellies. Knowing and understanding the times that we're in, hey, some of you 2/3 will start thinking about eating your children, all right, as this thing continues on and continues to get worse. And you will, all right, you will eat all kinds of abominable stuff, and you will eat your children. Thus saith the Bible. All right, continuing on. They shall commit whoredoms. Would that not be a whoredom? All right, and all the adultery, all the adultery, all the unclean things to eat. All right, after following after your own lust and your own understanding. And shall not increase. All right, and not increase, because they have left off and they have left off to take heed to Yahweh. All right, because you cared not to take heed to your power. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled birds whose fathers go back, all right, to that line. Verse 11, whoredoms and wine and new wine take away the heart. So whoredoms, all right, the abominable things that you do, all right, wine, the philosophies, and new wine, your religions, all right, you continue to follow after these things, your Christianity, your Buddhism, all right, Catholicism, your Aleister Crowley, do as thy will spirit, all right, the only live once, YOLO, live your best life, all right, Egyptology. These are abominable unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and these are new and old wines, all right. Egyptology is an old wine, just put revamped, okay, to make you think that you're some type of deity, all right. You are made in the image of God, all right, the real true power, Yahweh Yahweh Shai, All right, that's who you were made after. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled bird that goes there. The speckled birds whose father line goes back. Okay, and you can once again find that in the book of Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. All right, by their father's pole, by the seed, all right, of man. Continuing on, verse 12, and it reads, my people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staffs declareth unto them, for the spirit of whoredom hath caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under their power. All right, hey, it just said the spirit of whoredom. All right, the spirit of whoredom causes you to err. Goes to show you, all right, that Yahweh Shai, look here, there is a spirit that makes you go off, a demon, all right, that you continue to fall after. You continue to be enchanted by this demon because you seek not the Most High and His Son, Yahweh. Why? Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh. Why? Who the world, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jebus. All right. Verse 13, and it reads, verse 13, and it reads, they sacrifice unto the tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. All right, you continue to believe in your false rituals. All right, you continue to believe in your secret societies, your Illuminatis. All right, your Boule. All right, the sacrifices that are committed within those places, such as in Bohemian Grove, in places of that nature. They're false idols and they're false altars. You sacrifice abominably unto Yahweh Shai. All right, and you're knowing you're not sacrificing to them, you sacrifice unto the demon Satan. All right, because you believe in that power, which ultimately, pursuing to the book of Job, all right, you check in chapter 2, it is Satan who works for Yahweh. Okay? As a matter of fact, let me just prove that through the Spirit. Just right now. Let me just go ahead and get it. All right, this will be the book of Job, chapter 2, and verse 1, and it reads, and there was a day when the sons of Yahweh Shai, came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also amongst them to present himself before Yahweh. All right, so it goes to show you, hey, that deity who you pray to, Satan, all right, works for the Most High. He works. Hey, he's not even an independent contractor. All right, he works for the Most High. He is the son of the Most High. All right, that spirit is to lead you astray. Oh man, call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, Salakia. Verse 13, I'm going to read again. This book of Hosea chapter 4 and verse 13. They sacrifice unto the tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills under oaks and poplars and elms, all right, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore their daughters shall commit whoredoms, and their spouses shall commit adultery. Right, these are pursuant to the curses that we are under. Whoredoms and adulteries for your daughters, all right, and for your wives, all right. This vain lust, hey, what do they do at Bohemian Grove and all these other places? A lot of sex magic, all right, what is pushed out into the media. And it is chiefly these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American women who do it. All right, they are the face of whores, of whoredom, and whoring and adultery. All right, it continues. They continue. Verse 14: I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredoms, nor your spouses when they commit adultery. All right, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, everybody has to appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. All right, but he said he will not hold them accountable for these particular acts, because it is you, Jake. It was you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who were supposed to follow after the way of Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai? All right, you are to lead them. They are not to lead you, but they will have to answer for their abominable acts that they have done. All right, you have a law that was given unto the nation of Israel, for men to be in order and for women to be in order. So they will have to answer for everything that has been done. Thus saith the Bible. Okay, continuing on. For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore, the people that doeth not understand shall fall. All right, and you don't understand, so that's why you shall fall. All right, you continue to do that Aleister Crowley spirit, do as thy will. All right, live wild and free. You can be alternative lifestyle sons and daughters and not have to answer for it. You can do what you want to do. All right, these are the things that you have to answer for, because it is you who has a moral code. It lies in your blood. All right, so there is nothing you can do to get away from it. It is the very thing, in essence, that makes you you. You have a moral compass that doesn't feel right, but you go after your vain lust because you give in to your lust and not understanding that your lust is going to lead you astray. All right, going to the book of Hosea. I'm going to switch over to Hosea chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 10. And it reads, And the pride of Israel testifieth to his face, and they do not return to Yahweh their power, nor seek him for all things. Because you care not to seek for Yahweh Yahweh Shai, all right, and his ways for all things, you will continue to be in this perpetual state. You will continue to still be the lowest of the low and be at the bottom. You will have no sound mind. You will not be able to think clearly. Everything that you do and everything that you touch will eventually come to naught. Whether you are making money right now, there's going to be something in the road that has stumbled you. Right? Whether your business fails, whether you have a tax debt, whether somebody buys you out of your business and you lose it all, whether alcoholism or death, is about your family, you lose your son, you lose your daughter. Hey, what is it, roughly paraphrasing scripture, what is a man to gain if he gives his, what is a man to gain the whole world if he loses his very soul? Roughly paraphrasing scripture. All right, here it is, you have lost your very soul. Especially you entertainers, you influencers. Okay, because you influence the nation of Israel through all your whoredoms as well. All right, following after these other nations, chiefly Esau, Edom, and the system they have set up in place. caring not to understand and wanting more out of your power. All right, to Salakia, wanting more understanding from your power. You cared about the powers that are right now. Okay? Dropping down to verse 12, and it reads, when they shall go, I will spread my net upon them. All right, so after you go after these your own philosophies and the ways of these other nations, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is spreading the net upon you. Continuing on, I will bring them down as the fowls of the heavens. So Yahweh will bring you down. When you're at that highest point that you think you can get and everything's going good, there's always something that happens. All right, because you were cursed, whether you care to hear it or forbear it. All right, you are cursed, Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the speckled bird thereof, whose father's line goes back. All right, your father's line must go back to a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, no matter what other nation that you look like, so-called white man, Chinese man, Arab man, all right, African, all right, because we're not the same people. All right, Ethiopian, we're not the same people. Okay? Whatever you look like, if your father's line goes back, you are under these curses. You might have it a little bit easier in some ways, but then again, you might have it, the curses still cling unto you. Okay? Continuing on, verse 12. I will chasten them, and their congregation hath heard. Verse 13. Woe unto them, for they have fled from me. All right, so Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai said woe. All right, what is a woe? Hey, woe, it leads to death and destruction. All right, we are being destroyed as a nation strategically by Yahweh through the sword that he set up, which is Esau, Edom. Okay, which his sword is, he has the blessing of the sword and the fatness of the earth, pursuant to Genesis chapter 27. All right, and look at Esau's blessing. That sword is his technology, whether it be a gun, whether it be a guillotine, whether it be a pestilence. All right, this is this man's sword. Ultimately, it is Yahweh Shai's sword to punish his nation, Salakia, punish his nation for their disobedience. Salakia. Continuing on. Destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me, though I have redeemed them, yet they have spoken lies against me. All right, you have spoken again. You have spoken lies unto Yahweh, Yahweh Shai's name. You have said that his nation is for everybody. You have said that everybody can be saved. You have said the most abominable and you have said the most corrupt stuff ever. All right? You have likened Yahweh Shai unto something and someone who is the lowest of the low, a base man. You have thrown dirt on his name. You will have to answer 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Chiefly, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You 2/3 of our own nation will have to answer for the atrocities and the abominable shit that you say. Let me read verse 13 again. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 7 and verse 13. Woe unto them that they have fled from me. Destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me, though I have redeemed them, yet they have spoken lies against me. So Yahweh Shai has redeemed them, redeemed us time after time. Not only did he give us the law, statutes, and commandments after he redeemed us out of Egypt, all right, the first Exodus, entered a covenant with him. All right, then throughout the rest of our captivities where we have disrespected and dishonored Yahweh Yahweh Shai. There are clauses in the contract. All right, the book, when it was sprinkled with blood, was a contract. All right, the clauses, matter of fact, through the Spirit, let me go ahead and get that clause. Let's go ahead and get it. Let me just not speak on it. Let me get it so that the body may be edified. Okay? This was the clause in the contract that was given. And it reads, because I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you will obey the commandments of Yahweh, your power, which I command you this day. And a curse if ye will not obey the commandments of Yahweh, your power, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day to go after other gods which ye have not known. And this is exactly what we did. When you basically read our origin story. All right, in the middle of our origin story, becoming a nation, receiving the book, all right, receiving the commandments, receiving the written law, all right, receiving the first written law. All right, this was the clause in the contract. The curses that have clinged unto us, matter of fact, for edification, let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Matter of fact, let's just go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to the book of, we're going to go 29. Deuteronomy 29. Salakia. I'm going to jump around in chapter 29. I want to get a couple of different verses. All right. Lord willing to be edifying. I'm going to start at chapter 29 and verse 1, and it reads, These are the words of the covenant which Yahweh commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. Slakia. And Moses called unto all Israel, and said unto them, Ye have seen all that Yahweh did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his land. All right. So this is Yahweh. Why? Yahweh Shai. What he has did unto all the land of Egypt. All right. For you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled birds whose father's line goes back. All right. He did this for his name's sake and for you. Okay. To show his power. All right. To show his power. I'm going to jump down to verse 14. And it reads, Neither with you only